You are now tuned into a brand new episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. Well, guys, we got to get off into what Mel Kiper had to say. Now, Mel Kiper has told you guys, and he has basically warned the NFL about Shedeur Sanders. We heard everything that Mel Kiper had to say pre-draft, and now that Shedeur Sanders finally got an opportunity to grace an NFL football field. Mel Kiper gives Shedeur Sanders rave reviews after he was thrown in the game against the Baltimore Ravens, and also what he had to say when Shedeur Sanders got his first NFL start against the Las Vegas Raiders. But we're going to talk about all that here next, right after this. Well, guys, I'm here to tell you, man, Mel Kiper has been one of Shedeur Sanders' biggest supporters. Mel Kiper told everybody long time ago about Shedeur Sanders. And basically, Mel Kiper, his evaluation of Shedeur Sanders is probably spot on. Now, there's a lot of narratives out there about Shedeur Sanders. And see, that's the thing about it is people generating all these narratives about Shedeur Sanders and all these hyperboles and all these metaphors that, Shedeur Sanders wouldn't be a great NFL quarterback. Now, if you watch football long enough and you just look at it through the eye test, you know that Shedeur Sanders has the credentials and has all the potential to be an NFL great as a quarterback. If you just look at his tape that he produced at Jackson State, you look at the tape he produced at Colorado, you can see that he has all the quarterback intangible. And that's what Mel Kiper has been trying to tell people a long time ago. When you do evaluation of quarterback, Mel Kiper has it spot on because Mel Kiper came out pre-draft. Mel Kiper basically had Shedeur Sanders above Cam Ward in the draft. He had Shedeur Sanders probably rated the number one quarterback in the NFL draft. But we all know how the draft went. Shedeur Sanders fell to the 5th round at 144th, and the Cleveland Browns scooped him up. Now, basically, Mel Kiper is coming out to let you guys know everything that you see in Shedeur Sanders now that he has got on the NFL football field, and he got his first start against the Las Vegas Raiders, even when he was out there against the Baltimore Ravens in the second half. Mel Kiper's assessment on Shedeur Sanders bold to come in to be a true statement because everything that Mel Kiper had to say about Shedeur has now come to fruition. And now people are trying to say that the Dillon Gabriel experience has ruined Cleveland this year. And Mel Kiper has standed 10 toes down when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. And everything that Mel Kiper said leading into the draft, we see what Shedeur Sanders put on display against the Baltimore Ravens in the second half. The patience, he stood in there, he competed. But we got a full sample size of what Shedeur Sanders really is capable of doing when they face the Las Vegas Raiders. We're going to listen to what Mel Kiper had to say, but before we do that, we partnered with Underdog Fantasy, and this is a word from our sponsor.
Underdog Fantasy is the best way to play fantasy sports. Let me tell you about the easiest way to get in on some WNBA and NBA action. Find your player, pick higher or lower, win you some extra cash. Pick between 2 to 5 players to fill out your pick'em entry, get every pick right, and win some serious cash. Use my promo code SBD23 and receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Now that it's football time, follow Simply Ball Dropping as I share my picks. Like I said, pick your player, choose your amount, win money. Make picks, win cash. Thank you, Underdog Fantasy, for the partnership with us. And thank you for using promo code SBD23 on Underdog Fantasy.
Well, guys, with that being said, Mel Kiper, he was on NFL and Draft. via ESPN. And let's take a listen to what Mel Kiper had to say.
Moment we've all been waiting for. Shedeur Sanders finally got to start an NFL game. The entire world wants to know what Mel Kiper thought. It is no secret, Mel. You were a believer in Shedeur. You never stopped feeling that way. Now he is 1-0, the first Cleveland Browns quarterback to start 1-0 in this millennium. What was your reaction, first and foremost, Mel, to Shedeur's start?
Happy for him, for the Cleveland Browns, and obviously the defense. Myles Garrett's ready to set the NFL record. They couldn't block him. There's three things. You talk about, in baseball, what did they say at Bull Durham? You remember, Cranny. What do you throw the ball? Yeah, hit the ball, you catch the ball and all that. And in football, it's really very simple, right? It's BTC, blocking, tackling, and concentration. That's what I say, blocking, tackling, and concentration. And to me, when you think about this game, they couldn't block him. You can't beat him if you can't block him. But in terms of Shedeur, the operations for a young quarterback, you see quarterbacks running up, clapping, and then the time's ticking down, and you got to delay a game, or you got to take a timeout, or you end up the game with one timeout left or no timeouts left because the operations weren't good. And he looks a little confused out there. He looks like a deer in headlights. I never saw that. I didn't see it against Baltimore when he was getting hit of the whole second half. So I think the poise, the confidence, by playing in a lot of games in college, both at Jackson State and at Colorado, has helped him. And certainly, I think when you think about the plays that he made down the field, we talk about accuracy with him. That was the thing with him. He's so accurate. He can be a surgeon. If you just give him a fortress in front of him, give him some time, he can be a surgeon. And some of the throws he made, and he only had the one sack where he almost got it back to the line of scrimmage. It wasn't an 8, 9, 10-yard loss. It was like 2 yards. And he almost got it back to the line of scrimmage. He got the ball out. He showed touch. When he had to let it rip, he did. He had the one bad throw when the linebacker sunk in the hook zone, and he picked it off. Okay, that happens. Baker had a bad pick against the Bills that turned that game a couple weeks ago. It all happens. They're going to learn from mistakes. In order to get better, you got to make mistakes, and you learn from those mistakes. And he'll keep making them. And he's going to have uneven performances. He'll have some good, bad, and ugly. That's just the nature of being a rookie quarterback in this league who never played with the ones, right? But I think for Shedeur, I feel good because everything I see with him, he looked like an NFL starting quarterback. And that's the most important thing you can say about a rookie in this league.
First of all, I'm proud of you, Mel. I'm proud. That was fairly level-headed. I thought that might be a little more dramatic from you.
No. I'm never one to. I don't do victory laps.
Okay.
I don't do victory lap for one game because I go back. Right. I go, hey, who had the best debut ever in the history of rookie quarterbers? Will Levis did.
Oh, I think
remember the 4 touchdown passes.
Wasn't it Marcus Mariota as well? Yeah.
Again, and then you have this, things happen, the organization and whatever. We'll get into that, but I never go into anything overconfident. Where it's a game, my high school Calvert Hall when we were winning championship, I didn't go in any of those games like, oh, we're going to win this game, or I go in nervous about every game and about every player I like. I will never. Josh Allen, same way. Never going to ever do. Never will you ever see me do a victory lap. I always consider myself, and Green knows this, I consider myself a defense attorney for a lot of young players who are unfairly criticized.
Now, you heard what Mel Kiper had to say, man. And Mel Kiper basically, man, he's standing 10 toes down when it comes to Shedeur Sanders because he told everybody from the start, he warned everybody. Now, you heard his soliloquy talking about he looked like an NFL quarterback, and that's all you can ask. See, the thing about it is about the Dillon Gabriel experience. Nobody has ever came out and said that Dillon Gabriel looked like an NFL quarterback over the 6.5 games that we saw Dillon Gabriel on an NFL football field for the Cleveland Browns. Nobody has ever came and stated that, I told you guys, I told you so, that Dillon Gabriel is an NFL quarterback. And see, the thing about Mel Kiper never really had Dillon Gabriel on his draft big board when it came to quarterbacks. He's always had rave reviews about Shedeur Sanders. So the treatment that Shedeur Sanders has been receiving in Cleveland, people just don't understand because you got an NFL quarterback right in front of your eyes. And the time that you spent with Dillon Gabriel, a lot of people saying that experience has ruined the Cleveland Browns this year. So it's hard to pick up the pieces. But as the standings set today, the Cleveland Browns have not been officially eliminated from the playoffs or winning that division. But at the same time, Mel Kiper has always been a supporter of Shedeur Sanders, and he's tried to warn people that Shedeur Sanders is that guy. I see everybody in the comments section, hashtag, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. Oh yeah, just in case I forgot, tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. Catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.